Okay, this is a tutorial on how to create the drop-down menu that attaches to the hamburger menu and will allow you to link to each page. First, I want to just take a look at what I've got so far. These first four things are all the home page. And what's going to happen here with the home page, I'll show you. It has recent stories and it has my advertisement for my company, and then it's got a little plus thing. With the recent stories, I can click and drag, and this is why there are four home pages, because I created this slide thing, and from any one of these I can click and get to the story that it wants to do. And on the spider scare one, I've also created a sidebar. If I click the plus, it brings the sidebar up, and then if I click again, the sidebar slides back off. So that's this page down here. So that is a similar technique to what we're going to do with this drop-down menu. In the spider scare, we have that drop-down that slides up, and I use two separate pages for that. So for each one of these, I'm going to need to go back into design, and in here I make my menu. Zoom in, and I'll make a text that will say, notice I'm lining to my margin with my text, and I'll kind of create a margin on the other side there. Okay, home, and option click to duplicate that. So home 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's see, I'll bring that one down there. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, distribute, and now those are all evenly distributed on there. I think I'm going to change the fill color on that just to black, and I'm probably not going to make it bold, maybe a semi-bold. And okay, so my spider thing didn't quite fit, so I'm going to try to decrease the font size. And I'm still going to maintain that same kind of space between them. So I've got space for people to click with their finger without getting into all the other ones. Okay. All right, so I've got that pop-out menu. Now I need to make a link. So I go into prototype, home, goes right back to the home, eagles. It's going to go to the eagle story. Zoom out, command minus to zoom out. Spider scare. Bluegill. Camping. And deer. And also, if you were looking at these longer ones are going to be scrolling. And remember, to keep the headline from scrolling, I went into the prototype and select that banner at the top and say fixed position when scrolling. So then when I So now on this home page, if I click that, home keeps me there, and I can go back. Spider scare takes me to the correct place. Bluegill takes me to the bluegill story. Camping goes to camping, and deer goes to the deer story. So now I'm going to just duplicate this artboard by dragging option click and click on the name, and I'm going to drag that down. I'm going to go down a little further here so these can all go down here. Now I want to go back in here and make sure that my home button actually goes home. Okay, so now I can click in the rectangle and select all those text things and Command G to group those. So that's one object now, and I'm going to copy it, Command C, and I can go to all of these different pages and including the pop-up. So I select all those pages and I hit Command V, and now that's, oops, I missed a couple here. Command V. So now that pop-up menu is on every one of those boards. All right. Now I can just take that oops, I didn't group these. I'm going to go into design to make that a little easier to click on. All right, I forgot to group the very first one. So group, okay. So now I can take all of these pages and I'm going to option drag to duplicate all of them as well. And I'm also going to option drag with this one. I'm just going to move it over. All right. So all of these have some sort of thing on them now. I'm going to take all the top ones and just slide it up off the artboard. But I'm going to keep it aligned. And this is a little tedious just to get all these off of here. All right, now in the prototype, I'm going to link to this. And so when I hit play, if I click on that menu, I get the menu bar, and then I can choose which one I want to go to. All right, but I need to get another link back, so just in case I want to get out of that menu bar. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back into design, make a rectangle, and the rectangle can fill up the whole space. I'm going to fill that rectangle with a dark color like a black, and then I'm going to change the blend mode here to something like multiply and bring down the opacity, so it just grays things out. And then I'm going to go object and arrange, and I'm going to send it backwards, and that just brings it under here. Okay, and then I'm going to click that and go back into prototype and drag that right back to the home page. All right, so now if I hit play, if I click on my menu bar, the menu pops up, but if I click off it, then it goes back to the home page. So menu bar back. So I've got that menu bar just pops out. Now I do want to also make one change. Instead of that menu bar just like fading in like that, I want to auto animate it. So now the menu bar slides down nice and slick. That's kind of cool. And when I drag now to that, it's already set to auto animate. So I can just do that with every one of these. I have to double click to get to just the menu bar, so I'm not doing the whole banner at the top. Now this one I'm going down past that. I have to double check this one to make sure that it actually works the way I think it's going to work. It doesn't, and that's okay. And that was because that got out of the artboard, and you can see that it showed up here when the artboard wasn't selected. So so that's an important thing if that's not correctly positioned. Okay, so now I want to take these two. They were in there so I can organize them, but I would not have been able to move this thing up without putting it on a different artboard. So now I can move it up. And prototype, slide that over there. And now I should be able to move these back into position. So now I just have to go back in with copy that fill-in thing that we had there, and I'm just going to start shift select, shift select, shift select. And this one up here. Paste and object, arrange, send backwards. So now all those links should work and my whole site should be ready to go. Homepage, play, click that, and I can go Eagles, get back to it, home. Oh, that home link does not work. I'll have to fix that. So on all of the home links, I need to send it back home. Okay, so I test it now, click on my home page, check, and it is tedious to go back to these things, but it is important to make sure that all of the links work. Zoom out again.
Yeah, I keep calling them and then they're like, oh, I'll email it to you, and then I never get the email. And they took it off, right? Yep. Thanks. Sorry about that.
Okay, so it is important to double check all your links and make sure that they all work, and just go through it and test it. Home, eagles, spider scare, bluegill, camping, deer, home. Click out of those. I can drag through here, spider scare, home, bluegill fun, home, camping, home, camping. So you're just constantly testing on every page to make sure every link works. You can go home, go to the spider scare, click the pop-up menu. From there I can go home, or if I'm in the spider scare, I can click off that to get back into the spider scare story. So absolutely important to make sure every link from every page works everywhere. Now you'll notice that there are some things here. I have assets. So if I change the color, if I decide that my color palette doesn't work the way I want it to, I can just change that. If I go, oh, that is a little too lime green, I can right click it and edit, and I can change that up. Same thing with here. I can edit this and make the green a little darker, and then everything follows. All of my text, all of my banners, everything like that. So that's the advantage of making the assets. All of that stuff is customizable, and I can pick something that works better for my color scheme, and it automatically flows and updates everything. Okay, well that's that tutorial. All right, have a good day.